Well, it's 11th out here and I'm back at this. Kind of just stuck that rocker in place to kind of look at things. And it's not welded in or anything, but anyway, I think I can do this. First thing I got to do is rebuild this whole structure up here that holds the jack and this bottom of this doorpost thing. And it's been determined that the old blue truck outside there, the 59 or 60 van, is going to donate pieces. It was not an undercoated truck, but underneath, even though the floor is completely gone, some of the structures are in decent shape. So I can use this jack mount, and I was going to try to use this piece here, but it's pretty thin, and I'm not going to go with it. What I've done here is I made a profile, cardboard, of the piece I need, basically, and then I left my little extra there for the flap on the side of these mounts that we got. But this is kind of the profile, the bottom section of that thing, and I need 4 of them, one for each jack mount. Originally they're like 20 gauge, I think, but I'm gonna go with this 18. I got a sheet of it here up by this other the lowrider single cab. Anyway, I got this chunk of 18, so I'm going to cut a chunk off here, the right length, and then see if I can make 4 of these triangle pieces. And if I'm successful, I'm going to be a happy guy. I just don't want to buy anything for this truck. I want to make it. Well, a little update on what I got here. Sides aren't even, but I got extra there to fold, and then I'll trim it as I need later. But it's the right width, 18 gauge, plenty long enough, and a pain to make, but got to figure out how I'm going to fold the little lips over. Got to mark it and fold them accordingly, and then the length gets cut after the fact to fit where it needs to go. So that's the plan. Nice and warm out here today, mid 50s, and off and on we got some of that. Wind's going to be kicking up in a few hours. It's going to be 35 to 50 plus mile-an-hour winds. So we got a storm coming in off the coast. So anyway, gonna get windy, but at least it's warm. Guess we can see what I got. Basically, I got a wooden stake in between, using the vise here at one end, big old C-clamp at the other end, vintage, and then yeah, doing that to get this final lip. And then you can see it's larger on one side than the other, but I gotta trim that. I made my little pieces larger than needed to be from the start, so I could have a little fudge room, and you can see why. Kind of a chore to get all this stuff even. I hope I did a good job. I guess we're gonna find out. Fair to middling. I'm calling it fair to middling. It's a little bit in right here. You can see it's not exactly square, but it needs to get shaped and whatnot as it gets put in place. I've got to at this end cut some little flaps back and cut these ears off at the proper place. This end, same deal. It's got a couple folds this way to go on the frame of the truck, one that tucks down under the frame, and then this flap here goes on the square one that goes on top, which I haven't figured out yet, but cool. The prototype, it's the first one. I need to make 4 of them. Well, I mentioned earlier it was going to get breezy, and we're getting a few gusts here. Yeah, they're supposed to have like some 90-mile-an-hour gusts at the coast, which is actually, as the crow flies, 45 or 50 miles that direction, I guess. We got the coast range in between, but we're supposed to be getting over 50-mile-an-hour gusts right here, coming out of the south, coming up the valley, which is, that direction. So anyway, I'll hopefully keep my electricity long enough to get some more work done. Well, as I figured, yeah, here's what we got. Nothing. So wind's still picking up a little bit. I think the actual storm was supposed to roll in about 4. It's getting close to 4. The winds are like actually a little more earlier, but we got some pretty good gusts going on here. But apparently we got enough to turn the lights off, so that's where we're at right now. And I'll continue pounding on these things until I can't see. Well, the 12th out here in typical working environment for me, a mess, tripping over cords and everything. I've got this rocker kind of clamped in place now. It's not touching anything up front, but it's clamped down to all the stuff on the way down, so it's straight and where it belongs. So I can kind of figure out this front business. Yesterday I had made a bunch of these triangle things based on a pattern I took off of a van on one of the good ones towards the back of the car. Grabbed one and put it up there today just for giggles. It just touches up front here, but I got a big gap down where it's supposed to have ears to flap on the frame. So I got to looking at it and I went, oh crap, I used my pattern upside down when I made these, and yeah, so they don't work. And anyway, I was fixing to make another one and I got to looking and wait a minute, this is still going to be too short. The frame takes a jog and it's actually narrower at the front. The main frame rail right here is narrower at the front than at the back. So those 4 I made will work fine for the back. They're just right. But I had to make 2 more, or will have to make 2 more for the fronts. So I made another one, longer, and that's kind of where I'm at now. So I got my other one made longer, and I got my little ears on the back to spot weld or whatever to the frame rail, and a little flap on the bottom to weld across the bottom of the frame rail. And yeah, plenty long enough. I got enough to chop back on the front to make my little ears to spot weld to the inner rocker. So good to go there. And I was going to use this little piece for the top part off of this floor material I got, but lo and behold, that's a completely different gauge of metal and not even the right size. So anyway, I've made one of those. The ears on the side are way too long at this point. They haven't been trimmed. I figured I wanted extra and I could trim it after rather than coming up short. So basically, here's what I got. for that front, and it needs trimmed as well. But that one goes with this one, and said and done, it'll all spot weld together and replace what's gone up there. Well, it's 13th out here, pretty chilly day, but back at this, I guess we can see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and spot weld this piece together. Both halves have been test fit, so they got to go where they belong. So that's what I'm going to do, weld this thing up and see if I can get it welded in the car to the frame, and go about fitting the inner rocker. Look at my piece all spot welded together there, and got a big chunk of, I don't know, probably 3/16 plate clamped up to my new piece, and underneath there to the old structure, keep me in line, and multiple clamps clamped to the frame on the front side. So I'm going to, up here, I'm going to tack it on this side to start with, and then reposition the clamps around to the other side on the back side, and make sure it's up tight, get it tacked in place real good, bash it around with a hammer if necessary, and then weld it on in here. I got my rocker clamped all the way up, and I'm looking reasonable down here, so we'll see what's up. Anyway, I'm going to put this thing in here. You know, it's either start putting it together or continue cutting it apart, and I'm tired of cutting it apart, so I'm going to start putting it together. Well, here it is in place. Let's see what I got. The welds are kind of ugly, very strong. I did all my plug welds and put a bead down the edge of my little flaps. This whole thing is coated with this stuff here, which is tar, and I'm going to do the same when I'm done. I got a bucket of this stuff, so when I'm all done here, I'm going to recoat all this stuff. And anyway, any of my welds won't be seen anyway, so I'm not going to even grind them that much, but it's in there. Got my gap nice and even. My inner rocker all clamped all the way down, fits pretty nice, so calling it happy. And now I got to go on to the next, which I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. I'm going to think about it a while. Well, it's evening now, and time to give it up for today, and I've done a whole bunch of video over the last several days, and I kind of went through it. Nothing really good to show. Previously, I guess, on this video, I put a few bits up of what I've been doing, but it is coming along, and yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning some stuff. I've been doing some things that I haven't done before, and that's pretty cool. So, anyway, thanks for watching.